3 days to go.
Senate Bill 5950 with the following amendments. 5950.
Last line.
The same as here with transmitted. Melissa Palmer, Deputy Chief Clerk.
Senator Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate do not concur in the House amendments to engrossed substitute Senate Bill 5950 and request a conference thereon.
Senator Robinson moves that Senate do not concur in the House amendments to engross substitute Senate Bill 5950 and request a conference thereon. Remarks? Senator Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a very productive weekend with House budget writers, and we have reached an agreement. Staff are busy working on the final details, and we would like to conference. Thank you.
Further remarks? Hearing none, the question before the Senate is that the Senate do not concur in the House amendments to engross substitute Senate Bill 5950 and request a conference thereon. As many are in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion carries. The President appoints the following conferees to engross substitute Senate Bill 5950. Senators Robinson, Wynn, and Wilson-Lenda. Senator Peterson.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I move that the appointments be confirmed.
Senator Peterson moves that the President's appointments be confirmed. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The appointees are confirmed.
Okay, so they did hear the operating budget bill, right? And as you saw, they brought it up, and the first thing they said is, we recommend that we do not concur with the House's amendments, which means that they're not just going to pass the House bill as they amended it in the Senate, which means that now they have to start discussing with one another. Now, you heard Senator Robinson say that they've had productive conversations over the weekend, which means that over the weekend they've been talking about all those amendments, being like, we have a little bit more. So what the Lieutenant Governor did, and he's the head of the Senate, was that he appointed people to be on the committee. And you can see that there were Democrats and Republicans on this conference committee, where now they're going to go in and they're really going to hash out the details. Because again, remember, the most important thing is that the bill that comes out has to be exactly the same in the House and in the Senate. Is it a good thing to be on the conference committee? I mean, as you saw Senator Hawkins for the previous bill, he seemed very excited to be on that conference committee. It's also a lot of extra work, so I don't know if he was just joking around or not, but it was pretty fun to see his exciting reaction. So now they're going to go hash it out. Today is Monday, March 4th, and they have until Thursday, March 7th, to put the details so that they are exactly the same. And we'll report back more later.
Good morning, Senators and Representatives. I will kick off our presentation today. So up on the screen and in your materials are several three-way comparison documents, and we'll start by presenting how to read these documents. So on page 1, Leo, if you can advance. So this is the statewide view of the budget, and this is showing by functional area of government. On the far left is the Senate passed version. In the middle is the House passed version. And on the right is the conference proposal. So I'm down in the statewide total line. You'll see a number 71,671,023. This is the 4-year near general fund within the Senate's passed budget. Moving to the middle is the House at roughly $72 billion and the conference at 71.9. So that means from the Senate perspective in the 2023 biennium and near general fund, spending is $200 million higher, and from the House perspective, in the near general fund, it's $100 million lower. So this is one document, one view statewide. You'll see all the different functional areas as you scroll through, and there's a second document that will show recommendation summaries in a similar fashion, and that is to assist you with seeing how things change through the process.
Moving on to natural resources, the 4-year NGFO increase is $71 million. This is also where a fair amount of Climate Commitment Act funding lives, other than the large item that James highlighted earlier. There is funding for forest health and wildfire protection. The 4-year spending here is the same as what was in the Senate budget. And $30 million in CCA funding is provided for Washington farm and agriculture support. This is funding to support farm fuel users and transporters, and funding would go out in 4 payment tiers and must begin in September 2024. The energy and climate grouping also captures a fair number of small to mid-sized CCA-funded items, including an expansion for the tribal capacity grant.
So thank you all for being here today and hearing all about the budget. I first want to say that I am very appreciative of the whole process where I and Senator Geldon were at the table during the entire Senate process of the budget. And it was very enlightening, and I really appreciated it because we knew what was in the budget. What I've seen here in this is there's good investments. I mean, there's not a lot that much different in between the Senate and the House budget. As we might note, we have been hearing from our schools, particularly our schools, about how their costs for their energy has increased, and they're getting special line items on their energy bills that indicate the extra charge for the Climate Commitment Act. And that is part of the reason why they don't have the funds to pay for their operating costs. So at that end, skyrocketing insurance bills. I think it's kind of ironic that in the spending of the Climate Commitment Act dollars, that 3/4 of it is being used to reimburse people for higher costs due to policies caused by the Climate Commitment Act. And we're very appreciative that it did stay the same as it was in the Senate side, where the checks would be totally going out this year rather than split between next year and this year.
Senator Robinson?
Thank you, Chair Ormsby. Well, it's really a pleasure to be able to sit here and talk about this budget that I'm very proud of. It's my first year as Ways and Means Chair, and it is a very daunting task to write a responsible budget that looks out for everyone in our state. And that is what I think we tried to do. And hopefully people will agree that they can see themselves represented in the investments that we've made here.
Mr. Spencer, would you please call the roll? We'll be recommending or not recommending on the conference report. Mr. Spencer.
All right, Representative Corry. Thank you. Representative Corry, do not recommend. Representative Corry does not recommend. Representative Gregerson.
Recommend.
Representative Gregerson recommends. Representative Ormsby.
Ormsby recommends.
Representative Ormsby recommends. Senator Wynn.
Wynn recommends.
Senator Wynn recommends. Senator Robinson.
Recommend.
Senator Robinson recommends. Senator Wilson. Senator Wilson does not recommend.
Seventh order of business, third reading of bills. We'll take the following bill. Engrossed substitute Senate Bill 5950. Message from the conference committee. Clerk will read.
Madam Speaker, we have your conference committee to whom it was referred engrossed substitute Senate Bill 5950, and that the bill do pass as recommended by the conference committee.
With the consent of the House, the conference committee report on engrossed substitute Senate Bill 5950 is adopted. Hearing no objection, so ordered. The question before the House is final passage of engrossed substitute Senate Bill 5950. Remarks. The good member from the 3rd District, Representative Ormsby.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Many of us, including myself, have stood on this floor and talked about the strength of Washington, our pride in our state, and it's because we live in a great state. And this is the budget underneath this conference budget is a reflection of that. A lot of diverse opinions on this floor, a lot of diverse communities that we come from. Then that message was delivered loud and clear by the members and is reflected in this conference budget. And the work is never done. We're always trying to make this a better place to live. And you will see that reflected in the investments in the underlying bill in affordable child care, strong behavioral health, in an education system for our children, and supports for our youth and vulnerable people, food programs, clean air, clean water, and a transition to clean energy. The state of this strong economy doesn't happen by accident. It happens because we have intentionally made investments in the future of our state by investing in people and investing in their future, and they turn around and invest in their communities, and that keeps the economic ecosystem of Washington State strong. We have a strong economy. We have even stronger families, and we need to keep up the momentum to make sure that we continue on this glide path that makes this a great state to live in.
Thank you. Additional remarks? The good member from the 14th, Representative Corry.
Well, happy sine die, Madam Speaker. Rising to add some additional comments on the 5950. First, I want to thank again the tremendous work of all the members and staff that are involved in the appropriations process for this budget. It is detailed. It's probably the largest bill we run out of here every year, and it's full of a lot of good things that I think both Republicans and Democrats support. And I agree with the good gentleman from the 3rd. We have a lot of opportunities here in this state thanks to a robust economy. There are good things, as I mentioned, in this bill. There's good additional funding to help our schools with their additional maintenance costs. There's additional monies for teacher support services so that we can help our kids as they continue to make up for the losses during the pandemic and move forward into hopefully our state's bright future. There's good funding for a variety of things. There's also areas of concern for us as Republicans, for me as a Republican. We worry about broad-based tax relief, and while we are providing additional supports for some families, we believe that additional support via tax relief should be available for all of Washington's families. I'm happy to see that this budget ends our ending fund balance higher. I do worry about the ongoing spending and how long we will be able to continue with that. There was a savings account that is spent in this that is concerning to us. Madam Speaker, we know that there are good things in here, and we believe that there are things that may not be as good for the state of Washington. We're asking for a no today, not because we disagree with everything, but because we have some underlying concerns with certain ways that we are spending money. And, we want to continue to urge fiscal restraint. I've said time and time again on this floor, there may come a day where we don't have such a rosy economic outlook, and we will be in a position to make some really difficult decisions. And I've always advocated for fiscal restraint to ensure that those difficult decisions are easier to manage when the time comes.
Question before the House is final passage of engrossed substitute Senate Bill 5950 as recommended by the Conference Committee. The Speaker's about to open the roll call machine. Speaker has opened the roll call machine. Has every member voted? Would any member like to change their vote? The Speaker's about to lock the roll call machine. Speaker has locked the roll call machine. Clerk will announce the record.
Madam Speaker, there are 58 yeas, 39 nays, 1 excused.
Having received a constitutional majority, engrossed substitute Senate Bill 5950 as recommended by the Conference Committee is passed.